Hello everyone, it's Rosin, and it is currently 2 a.m., and I should be asleep by now. I have work in the morning, and I got stuff to do before I, clock out for the weekend, but I can't sleep. We just got some Mobile Suit Gundam, the Witch from Mercury news dropped on us from the official Gundam Info website, and truth be told, I was kind of taken by surprise. I was about to go to bed, and I saw that the Gundam Twitter was teasing, oh hey, we're going to drop some more Witch from Mercury news, so I don't know if this is something they announced beforehand, or if they just kind of dropped it on us, but I was like, fuck it, I'll stay up, and here I am 2 hours later, still looking at this stuff, and talking to people on Twitter about it, and yada yada. So, yeah, I figured, people like it when I make Gundam videos. I like making Gundam videos. I really like Gundam. I might as well just share my initial thoughts and impressions of the info they've released so far. And, just capture this little specific moment in Gundam history. So, yeah, I guess first things first, we did get confirmation that this is an AU series. That was never in doubt in my mind, though I guess every now and again I saw people speculating, oh, what if it's a Universal Century thing? Which, I thought was kind of silly. I don't know. I don't really think they're ever going to, at least not for a good while. I don't really think they're interested, Sunrise that is, in making a Universal Century, original TV show at this point. I just don't see it happening. When we do get UC TV shows these days, they're rekcuts of, OVAs, like The Origin or Unicorn. And specifically, I think their strategy there is all of the Universal Century stuff that comes out as those OVAs or movies or something like that they can make these big budget spectacle things out of that are short but sweet, and capture that older audience that they have, whereas the stuff that's put out on TV is kind of there to capture the younger generations and act as a gateway for new people into Gundam. So I'm not really surprised it's an AU. I kind of expected it was going to be an AU ever since we knew that it was just a title. Frankly, I don't think Mercury as a planet has really come up all that much in Universal Century to begin with, so, I was kind of like, I don't know why anyone thought it would be UC, but whatever. We only have so much to go off of based off of the website and what they've described of the setting. I'm just going to read off the blurb they have here. An era when a multitude of corporations have entered space and built a huge economic system. A lone girl from the remote planet Mercury transfers to the Astacasia School of Technology. Had to look at that before I was confident in how to pronounce that. Run by the Benerit Group, which dominates the mobile suit industry. Her name is Soletta Mercury. With a scarlet light burning in her pure heart, the girl walks step by step through a new world. So I, even though we only got so much to go off of here, I really, really like what we have. I enjoy that we don't seem to be having a war between nations or massive, sovereign entities here, so much so as we seem to be going off of corporatocracies or, just mega corporations who are vying for control of the mobile suit industry. And also the school setting is very interesting. When we get into the characters, actually I don't even know how much I really want to talk about the characters other than the fact I think their designs are cool. I don't have too much to say off of the blurbs they have so far, but they're all students, it seems like, that they've revealed so far, and they belong to different schools, or at least different houses within this large school run by the big mobile suit company or whatever, which is neat. I like that a lot. I think that's pretty original for a Gundam show, and what I hope that we get a lot of subterfuge and scheming and politicking between these corporations and even the different houses from the school. That'd be kind of original for Gundam. Iron-Blooded Orphans kind of had that with the economic blocks and them going to war, but even then those were essentially big nations, but the idea was kind of still there, right? But even then, that's not really what Aibo was about. It just kind of played into some subplot stuff in Season 2, so I'm curious to see where they go with it, and I think that there's a lot of ground there to tell some original stories, or at least depict mobile suit violence and the way that mobile suits operate and work and fit into political maneuvering in the world in a different light than, the typical Total War stuff that we get. Though, I'm still expecting this to be a very large-scale, battle-driven series. As for the protagonist, I'm actually very excited that we've kind of confirmed that she is more on the lighthearted side of things. Gundam protagonists, I feel like tend to, I feel like we have more kind of traumatized or brooding characters there, children whose innocence has been stripped away as they're forced to fight in these wars and that sort of thing. Even when they're idealists, like, think Banagher, a lot of the times there's still like an element of like sadness there, hardship that they have to overcome. But from what it sounds like here, this sounds a little bit more like Laran or Judo or even Garrod from After War, kind of more in that lighter tone side of things where, they don't let the world beat them down, and even though there's horrible things going on around them, they're still trying to find the light and everything, and trying to make the best of their situation. So I'm curious to see what they do with her, and I'm curious how exactly her having to, as I am with all Gundam protagonists, the fact that they are forced into the mobile suit and are forced to fight and have that responsibility placed on them is going to be interesting to see. I'm very excited, and it's cool that they're doing a female protagonist. That's really neat that they've finally bit the bullet on doing that, and I'm just it's just nice to have variety, and cool to see the typical Gundam story from a female perspective is going to be neat. So we learned that the director is Hiroshi Kobayashi, who I am not particularly familiar with. I looked him up. Apparently he is best known for Kisniver, and also directed the Spriggan. I actually don't know how that's pronounced. I'm not familiar with either of those two series. But I believe that just like debuted the other day on Netflix. I think it's like a 6-episode thing that's an adaptation of the original manga, which I have like no knowledge of Spriggan to begin with, or again, Spriggan, not sure how you're supposed to say that. Other than the fact that I know that like From Software made an action game for the PS1 for it, and I was always kind of curious because of that alone, because it seemed interesting, and I was like, oh, maybe I should read the manga or check out one of its adaptations or something. So and then also too, it looks like he did some episodes of Kill la Kill, which is not a series that I particularly care for, but I don't think it's really so much I don't really think the directing was the reason I bounced off that show. So curious to see what he brings to the table. And then the writer, and also series composer, looks like, I didn't notice that until now, is Ichiro Okouchi, who is a name that is going to be familiar to a lot of Mecha fans, most notably for writing Code Geass, as well as like the recent revival of Code Geass, where they did the movie trilogy and the Lelouch Resurrection thing or whatever. Which, if you're like me, that might incite some panic, and it's like, oh god, no, the series is going to be a mess. Don't worry, this man has some range. He is also responsible for writing the scripts for the Berserk Golden Age arc movie trilogy, and also Devilman Crybaby, which I did not know that was the same writer as Code Geass. I was kind of surprised to learn that tonight. But then also, like, too... I realized this is also the dude who wrote the 8th MS Team novelization, which has like some real fucked up stuff added to it that wasn't in the original OVA, that is just bad and weird, and yeah, real big quality range on this guy in my opinion, so kind of a wild card in terms of the writing. We'll see how it goes, but this guy has made some stuff that I've really liked before. He's made some stuff I really haven't liked before. It seems like people are really positive on his most recent work. Like, I think he also wrote Lupin Part 5, which is a more recent Lupin thing. I know nothing about Lupin, so, again, I can't comment on that. But apparently people really liked that, so it seems like he's been, hitting more than missing recently, so that's cool. Mecha design stuff. I just gotta say right off the top of... right off the bat here, I really like all the mecha designs that we've gotten for the series so far. There's not a bad one in the bunch. We only have like 6 or so, but I really enjoy this art style. I really enjoy the aesthetic that they're going for. Some people I think might be a little, concerned about how greebly they are, and there's just all the lines running through it and the hyper detail and stuff like that. I live for that shit, so couldn't be me. But I really like all these designs. I think they look rad as hell. So in terms of the mecha design staff that we know so far, we got quite a few series regulars in here. We got Kanataki Abikawa, Ippei Gyobu, Kenji Teraoka, Takayuki Yanase. All four of them have been working on Gundam for quite a while. Most of them, I think, started around the time of Gundam 00, with the exception of Ippei Gyobu, who I believe started working on the series around the time of Rakonguista and G. And I like the looks of G Reco in particular, and 00 designs, there's quite a few in there I like too. But they've worked on a lot of stuff. Like, I think a lot of them have even worked on a lot of the Build series and stuff like that. So a lot of history with the franchise. So it just goes to show that we're going to continue building on that core Gundam design philosophy, but still have its own fresh, unique take on things, which is really, really cool to see. We also have two newcomers. We have J&T Head, which is a name that I was not familiar with, but whose work I have definitely seen before, because he is best known for contributing to the Metal Gear series of video games. In particular, he did a lot of the mechanical designs for the PSP games. And that's not just Portable Ops and Peace Walker, that's also including the two Acid spin-off games that were made. And then also, apparently, he was the one responsible for animating the Ada startup sequence for the original Zone of the Enders. Which I had to re-look up and just refamiliarize myself with, but it's a good boot-up sequence, and Zone of the Enders rules. I really love the look of that series too, so that's neat. And then also, more interesting to me is that we have Wataru Inada, who very little on the English side of the internet about what exactly he's contributed to, but what you can find him credited for is Armored Core 4 Answer, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and Xenoblade Chronicles X, as well as some of the designs for Kotobukiya's Frame Arms line. I really tried to figure out what 4 Answer designs, and even what Xenoblade designs he helped out with, like, if there's any specific ones or whatever, but I couldn't really find that info. I'm sure it's probably a lot easier to find in Japanese, but, I don't speak Japanese or know how to read it, so I'm kind of at a loss there. But you can really see this in particular, and I found this guy's Twitter, and he apparently confirmed that the particular design that's been revealed so far that he worked on is Gundam, is it Ferract? Yes, Gundam Ferract, which as soon as I saw, I was like, oh, that has some real Armored Core vibes to it. And I would say it's probably my favorite of the designs we've seen so far. It's probably tied for the Gundam Ariel, which is the main character, the protagonist Gundam suit. I think I like the Ariel slightly more than the Ferract, but the Ferract, as soon as I saw it, I fell in love. I was like, oh, hell yeah, this thing rules. And yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh god, this gives me massive Armored Core vibes. So as soon as I saw, someone from 4 Answer worked on the series, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Though, strangely enough, this reminds me more of like an Armored Core 3rd gen design rather than a 4th gen design. Just because necks look a little bit different, but, I can definitely see that there's a hint of 4 Answer in there, so, yeah. Pretty cool that they have some new blood helping them out there, and a lot of people involved with, the video game side of things. It seems like, actually, I was reading up, it seems like J&T Head, after Peace Walker decided to retire from games, but has still been doing artwork and mechanical design stuff for, like, anime and different product lines and stuff like that, so that's neat. And yeah, like I said, Wataru Inada, it seems like, is kind of tricky to find info on. Apparently also did some design work for the dungeons that were in the Breath of the Wild DLC, which I was kind of surprised by, and I guess was actually the reminder I needed that Monolith Soft helped out with Breath of the Wild, which I always forget that was a thing. Actually, is that the case? I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm looking it up just to double check myself real time. Yeah, Monolith Soft helped out with Breath of the Wild's development. But yeah, honestly, that's like most of the info that we have so far. I got really nothing to say other than I seem to like the tone that they're going for right now with this. I like the initial pitch that we have. I think these character designs are phenomenal. I think the mecha designs are also phenomenal. I'm excited. They're releasing a prologue short, I suppose, which is, as far as I can recall, I don't think any full flagship Gundam TV series has done that before, where they have like a preview aired like months in advance. The only other thing I can think of that comes remotely close is the first episode of Double Zeta, which serves as this weird like recap of Zeta or whatever before you get into Double Zeta proper. But you know, this seems more like it's going to be like a narrative side story thing that introduces you to the world and stuff like that. So apparently it's going to be shown on July 14th at a event called Gundam Next Future Link the Universe. And it says here, premiere screening in Japan for forward episode prologue. I am sure that they'll probably, you know, obviously this is going to get fan subbed like immediately, but I'm sure that they'll release this officially in some capacity, maybe a little bit later on, like on the Gundam Info YouTube channel or something. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That is less than a month away now, so it'll be cool to see that. And then the series starts in earnest in October. So yeah, I am really looking forward to having a new full-length Gundam TV series again. You know, that isn't Build, I should say. I still need to watch the Build stuff. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I know I'd probably like it, but just haven't had the time. And, you know, it's a little bit harder for me to get excited about the Build stuff than the actual, like, kind of, you know, more serious narrative-driven, or I shouldn't say narrative-driven, that's stupid. I'm sure the Build series have, you know, their own narratives that, you know they focus on, but, you know, just the more serious, like, sci-fi drama, war story type thing that the traditional Gundam series go for. I prefer vastly to the kind of alternate reality sort of game hobby thing that the Build series got going for them. So yeah, it'll be cool to have something new to look forward to and watch weekly, since it's been so fucking long since Iron-Blooded Orphans first aired. So yeah, looking forward to it, and let me know if you're looking forward to it too. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're probably very curious. So yeah, have a good one, everyone, and hopefully I'll be back with more Gundam stuff shortly.